Hi, I'm Kat and I play Red. We love economic games. Well, I do. Rob complains that they make his brain melt out of his ears. I love economic games. I love heavy games. I love most games really, let's face it. So, I was really pleased when a few years back we had our first play of Raccoon Tycoon. This is from Forbidden Games, designed by the rather fabulous Glenn Drover. Raccoon Tycoon is a family economic game. It has a lot of elements of stock markets, shares, presented in this beautiful package that immediately has you wanting to know more. Let's have a look at the actual game. Before we get fully into the game, we need to just take a minute to appreciate this ridiculous but glorious first player marker. I know there's a few games with big old first player markers, but I think this takes the crown. So your raccoon here is your start player marker. Let's have a look at the actual game board now. So here we have our stock market showing the prices of all the available goods. The wheat, the wood, the iron, the coal, the goods and the luxury items. Wine, we do like a bit of wine. Then we have our railroad shares. At the moment we have a Skunk Works and a Big Bear railroad available. Then we have our town cards. Currently we have Molehill. These will get more expensive to buy over the course of the game and will be worth more victory points. So Molehill here will only cost you 2 iron or 4 of any resource to buy and will be worth 2 points at the end of the game. Then at the bottom we have our buildings. So the ones on show are the currently available buildings. We start with basic buildings available, hence the B in the corner, and the cost to buy them and their ability is shown at the bottom. Each player will start with 10 money from the Bank of Astoria. Again, this has got Mr. Badger on it, which is pretty cool. In Dog We Trust, we like that. And each player will start with 3 of these price and production cards. So this is one of those games, when you know what you're doing, it will move along really quickly, as players will take 1 action per turn. So let's have a look at the available actions. The first thing you can do is production. So that is obviously using the price and production cards. I'm going to play this card, which means the price of wheat will go up by 1. The price of iron will go up by 2. And the price of goods will go up by 1. All of which is marked on this section of the board. Then I'm going to produce 1 wood, 1 iron and 1 goods, which we like because they're big red boxes. So I simply take those goods and pop them into my supply. Over the course of the game, you can store 10 goods. However, each building you have adds 1 to that. So if I had 3 buildings, I'd be able to have 10 plus 3. At the moment, I'm nowhere near 10. There's no need to worry. And I draw another price and production card, so I have 3 in my hand at all time. The next action we can do is to sell a commodity. So, okay, I don't have much at the moment, but the iron is the highest So I'm going to sell 1 iron for $4. So I simply pop that back into the reserve. I take my $4, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bank. And because I've sold 1 good, the price of iron drops by 1. If you're selling goods, you can sell as many goods as you like of one type. So let's say iron was up at 10 and I had a lot. I have 5 there. I could sell 5 iron at 10 each, which would give me $50. But the price would then drop 1 for each I'd sold. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the price would drop back down to $5 for anyone who wanted to sell in subsequent turns. Almost moving down the board, the next available action is to start an auction for one of the railroad cards. The price at the bottom here is your minimum starting bid. So if I wanted to start a bid for the Skunk Works, I'd have to start at 2. If I wanted to start an auction for the Big Bear, I'd have to start the bidding at a minimum of 5. However, if I really desperately wanted the Big Bear, I could start the bidding at 30, 40, 50. Madness, I know. At the bottom here is the victory points they're going to be worth at the end of the game. So if I have 1 Skunk Works card, it would be worth 2 points. However, if I had 2, it would be worth 5, 3 would be 9, and 4 would be 15. So keep an eye not only on the points that are available, but on what your opponents are taking and what you want. If your opponent has got 3 Skunk Work railroad cards, you might go a little higher on that bid to stop them getting the 4th, because the 4th one is effectively 6 points for them. Players take turn bidding. So if I bid on the Skunk Works, if I bid 4, my opponent would have to bid higher. The minute you declare yourself out of an auction, you're out, tough. The player who bids the most gets the card and pops it into their player area. If I declared the auction for the Skunk Works, and if I lost and my opponent got it, we would refill the space here. Oh, 2 big bears. And I'd get another action. Now, I wouldn't have to start an auction on these. I could take any of the other available actions. But if I lose that auction, I don't lose my action completely, which is nice. Moving over, you can also buy one of the town cards. As I said earlier, the cost is shown at the bottom and the points in the middle. Now, the other thing you'll see here is the +2. So for every railroad and town pairing you have, you'll get an additional 2 points. So if at the end of the game I had 3 towns and 4 railroad cards, I'd get an additional 6 points for my town cards. Moving right down to the bottom, we have the buildings, which, as I said earlier, not only help you store extra goods, but they all have bonuses. So the coal deposit, for example, whenever you take coal from a production card, you'll get +1 coal. These basic buildings are from a random selection at the start of the game. Over the course of the game, you can actually upgrade them. So to upgrade the coal mine would cost you 12 coins, but would mean you'd get +2 coal every time you took that resource. So I'm going to put the coal deposit in front of me here. I can now store 11 goods because I have 1 building. I get the additional coal, and I also have the option of turning it over during the course of the game. The buildings then restock from this pile. Ooh. And these have a range of abilities. So the warehouse allows you to store an additional 3 commodities. Let's have a look at what else is there. The rail baron here. Each railroad you have at the end of the game will give you 1 VP. There's a bank that will give you extra points at the end of the game for each $20 you have at the end of the game, and so on. You just follow the instructions of what it says on the building tile. So let's just have a couple of rounds and see what we can do. So I'm going to keep my coal deposit because I can. So I'm going to go with some more production. Early in this game, that's pretty much all you're going to be doing is getting those goods, because goods help you get money, which helps you get everything else. So, price. My wheat goes up by 1. Oh, wood goes up by 1. And the lovely red boxes go up by 1. Now, this card shows 4 resources at the bottom. Now, this is a good thing and a bad thing. Currently, I can only take 3 of these goods. That's just the rules. I am going to take 2 iron and a coal. But don't forget, I get the additional coal because of my coal deposit. So I take 4 resources and pop them in front of me, discard the card and draw a replacement. So now I've got a couple of iron, a couple of coal. The price of coal's not going anywhere, sadly. So I might choose to, let's have a look at what I've got. I'm going to play this production card. So the price of iron is going to go up by 1, 2, 3. And my wine's just got a little more expensive. And again, I produce and I get a wood. And I'm going to get 3 coal. So, discard the card, draw another. Now, I've got quite a few resources here. 3, 6, 9. In fact, I'm dead on 10. The price of coal isn't very good. But I've managed to bump the price of iron up quite nicely. So $8 each, I'm going to sell 2, which gets me $16. But will, in turn, drop the price down to 6. I'm sure with the great GameStop fiasco of late, we're all a bit more aware of how these kind of things work. So now I've got a bit more money. So let's have a look. I might start an auction for Big Bear. So I'm going to start the bidding at 7. So I'm going to bid 7 on the Big Bear Railroad. Rob, what are you going to bid?
9.
He's a tricky one. I'm going to go to 10.
You can have it.
So I'm going to pay $10 and I take a Big Bear share and pop that in front of me and refill the space. So players will take it in turns, doing 1 of the 5 available actions. 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, I'm going to pay 4 resources for Molehill. Again, that just sits in front of me. And restock that. Play will continue until either all the railroad cards have gone or all of the town cards have gone. And then you're going to add up points. Your points will come from your shares in the railroad company, points from each town that you've bought, plus the additional 2. So in the case I've got here, my Molehill town, doesn't sound like the best place to build a town, would be worth 2 plus an extra 2 because it matches with the railroad. So that would be 4 points. My Big Bear would be worth 3 points. So I'd have 7 points for my cards. You get 1 point for each building in play, and some of the other buildings will give you endgame points. But realistically, the bulk of your points will come from these cards. So keep gathering those resources to buy the towns. Keep selling those resources to get money to bid for your railroads. The other thing that comes with this game is a set of mission cards. These are primarily for more experienced or older players that want a little bit more to the game. At the start of the game, you're going to deal 2 to each player, and they're going to have a look and decide which they want to keep. So there's some examples here. The Wood Baron will give you 1 point for every wood you have at the end of the game. Most towns, pretty obvious, have the most town cards at the end of the game for an additional 6 points. So if you're playing with adults or if you're playing with people that have played this a few times, these are a great way to just spice it up a little bit. Raccoon Tycoon is a great way to introduce a lot of quite basic concepts to people. The idea of collecting shares in a railroad and having more shares, more points. The stock market element. All of these are fundamental things in a lot of the heavier economic games out there. 18xx, Arkwright, Food Chain Magnate, all of these are concepts you will see time and time again in heavier games. So this is just brilliant. The artwork is just, honestly, it's just too much. Where's my favourite boy? I can't find him. Please. Mr. Fat Cat himself here, who is just delightful. We love him so much. The artwork and theme just makes it that bit more appealing to people who don't want to play economic games. It's quick, it's easy, it's delightful. What more can I say? There is also the Fat Cat expansion available now. I don't know what's in it. I'm sorry, I haven't got it yet. Make it so. So keep an eye out for that. I know that's got a big chunky Mrs. Fat Cat start player token, which looks awesome. So, Forbidden Games, Raccoon Tycoon from Glendrover. Plays between 2 and 5 players. Obviously, the auctions are a bit more fun when you've got 5 players and it's a bit madness. But saying that, our 2-player auctions get quite nasty as well. Plays pretty quickly once you know what you're doing and once you get into the flow of the game. We had a 5-player game, 3 were new players, and I think it still only took maybe about an hour. Because the turns are so quick, you're doing one action, bang, done, on to the next person. The only thing that obviously breaks the game up in that terms is the auctions, which especially with 5 players who are all a bit mean to each other, can go on a while. Check it out. Check out the other Forbidden Games range. They all come in this beautiful red box, which we obviously approve of. And again, they're all similar concepts. They're teaching you the basics of heavier games through a lighter family weight game. So if you're looking to get your child into 18xx games, this is your starting point. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you did, hit like and subscribe. Come and say hello to me on the socials, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I play red. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.